Viewer beware, you're in for a scare.
I recently had a bit of a rebuttal where I've been watching all the classic Goosebumps episodes based on the original released R.L. Stine books. And the Goosebumps series as a whole, maybe for its time was scary, but nowadays you kind of look at it, there's a lot of goofiness there. The series definitely doesn't hold up as well, the effects definitely look very corny, and some of the writing I look at now and I'm kind of like, man, R.L. Stine is really good at writing more adult-centered stories or adult-themed stories. But when it comes to dialing it back for kids, that doesn't seem to be a strong suit, with the exception of one episode that's always messed me up and one story from the books that I've always adored and still to this day, looking back, I think is the best story that he's written from the Goosebumps, and that is The Haunted Mask.
Ouch! Carly Beth, what is it? The mask. It won't come off. Really? Can't get it off? It's like it's stuck to my skin.
Well, it's gonna sound pretty dumb if we have to call the fire department to come get you.
Shut up and help me!
The Haunted Mask being one of my favorites, and since it's around Halloween time, I figured why don't we take a good look back to this episode and see why it worked so well and why it still lingers with a lot of people to this day and with me to this day. I generally found this episode to be pretty eerie, and in some aspects I can see why this would be scary. Was it particularly scary to me? No, but there is a sense of eeriness to the story that I can admit that I did feel when watching this episode and back when I read the book all those years ago. Number one, they introduced a phenomenal character of Carly Beth in the episode. I think that the actress that they got for the episode was really good and was a good representation from the book. I'll try not to draw comparisons to the book too much considering the fact that I'm talking about the actual episode, but I will bring up the book every now and then just to kind of talk about where I think they nailed it. And Carly Beth is a very, very timid person. There are these two characters in the show where they keep torturing her over and over again by scaring her half to death. She's a very jumpy person. I mean, we all know people like that, and these people really want to mess with her all the time, and she's getting pissed off about it. She can't stand getting scared, so she feels like she has to pay them back, and I understand why. I mean, making her eat worms in front of the entire cafeteria, embarrassing her, that's far enough. And basically she wants to get revenge against them by scaring them on Halloween night, so she goes to this mask shop and finds a special hidden room that is definitely off the branch from the store, where there are a bunch of rows of really terrifying, disformed, and she finds the perfect mask to wear to scare these boys, but the mask owner warns her not to take the mask as these masks are not for sale, but throwing her cash at him anyways and running out the store, she takes the mask without his permission. Who could imagine this could go wrong? And so begins the fights with Carly Beth as she puts on the mask in the episode. Of course, the character is going to learn a lesson by the end of the episode, but the setup for the story was very well done because they give a good reasoning for why the character wants to scare the boys. They make you understand who the character is through the boys scaring her. Like, don't even need to tell you that she's a scaredy cat. They introduce that idea with them scaring her very easily. And yeah, some characters kind of pointed out after the fact, but the fact that they had that introduction with her being scared, that lets you know her personality very well. But of course, this being a horror story, things do not go the way they're supposed to. After scaring the two boys, there seems to be a major problem with the mask. You see, the mask is, well, kind of stuck to her face. And this is very much built up to. I mean, at the portion where she's in her house and she tries to take the mask off for the first time, it's stuck a little bit, but she can get it off relatively simply. But there was a minor scare. The mask owner warned her not to get the mask, so we already know that something's suspicious about this, but we just don't know what. And number 3, throughout the entire episode, you kind of notice her personality changing as she's wearing the mask. She's getting a little bit more twisted. She's getting a little bit too into it, and her voice is changing as well. Her whole personality seems to be changing. So we're all waiting for what this is building up to, and that is the fact that she can't get this mask off.
Oh,
What's the matter?
there's no bottom to this mask. There's no line in between the mask and your skin. There's no place I can reach my hand in.
That's crazy. That's just crazy.
Which this is a very suspenseful build-up to what's the biggest plot twist of the episode, where she talks to the store owner and he said he can't help her get it off, revealing that it's a real face that she's been wearing the entire time, and that it soon will be her face if she can't find a symbol of love that reminds her of herself to get the mask off. There's also some deep insinuation in the fact that the mask owner himself is also wearing a mask. Reminding herself of who she is, she finally can get the mask off, but this is where I think the episode was really good, was the fact that it did teach a very good lesson of accepting yourself for who you are.
This is Carly Beth. I am Carly Beth. This is me. Get away. Get away.
Not trying to be something that you're not, because sometimes that thing can turn into something pretty hideous. And what you are and who you are is already beautiful enough. But still, the concept of wearing a potentially a real face on your face is already unnerving enough, and the fact that you could potentially live with the fact that that's going to be your face permanently, that's a scary concept. And I think the episode ended surprisingly in a way that actually did make me feel uncomfortable. I remember rewatching this. After telling her brother not to wear the mask that she threw in the trash, we all know what's coming. But still, to see the sight of the mask on her brother after we spent so long trying to get it off, that's a great cliffhanger right there. Now, there was a follow-up to the Haunted Mask, the Haunted Mask 2, where there was a different effect with a different mask. But arguably, this is still one of R.L. Stine's best written Goosebumps books. And the best episode in the entire series, arguably. And it was considered that for the longest time, and I have to agree. And the episode does do many things better than the book, in my opinion. Obviously, with it being, well, a show and not things on a page, you can actually see what's going on, and that creates an effect in and of itself. But also the fact that the mask that they had in the episode actually did look scarier than in the book. Because in the book, you can exaggerate it. You can make it look very exaggerated and stretching out the face or making the jaw hang very low. But the way the mask looked in the episode, and as they progressively made it look like it was getting more and more molded to her face, that created more eeriness. But this was definitely my favorite Goosebumps episode for sure, and I felt like it was the perfect opportunity to do a retrospective look back at it. And being someone who grew up watching the Goosebumps series, renting it from the library all the time, I would always do these things on Saturdays after school. Whenever I would go over to the library, I would always rent a new copy of the Goosebumps books or rent a copy of the DVD. Did you guys also grow up with the series as well? I'm sure that many of you did who did watch this video.
Two little gnomes sitting by a tree. When the lights go out, they scare me.
What did they want?
Two little gnomes having creepy fun when it gets dark. Better run.
You'll never make it.
Watch it all new Goosebumps next Saturday at 9 a.m. on Fox Kids.
If you guys did, let me know your favorite episode of the Goosebumps series and your favorite book of the Goosebumps series. Happy Halloween, you guys, and hope you guys enjoyed the video. Oh, and hey, you guys, have you guys seen my mask yet? I had this one for a while, right? It's pretty cool, right? All right, let me go and get this thing off. Huh. I can't seem to Can't seem to get this thing off. Ah, no.
Now that wasn't too scary, was it? Let's ask my family. Mom? Dad? What did you think? I think they liked it. I hope you did too. Have a scary day, everyone.